So, $250,000 salary in New York City. I mean, that sounds like you've made it, right? The absolute dream. But what does that kind of money actually get you in one of the most expensive cities on the entire planet? Okay, let's really get into it and follow the money of one young professional trying to make it in the Big Apple. So let's start with the big shiny number, $258,000 a year. And, that's not just a base salary. It's the whole package. Base, a performance bonus, even a little dividend income. It's a seriously impressive number, no doubt about it. But as we're about to see, this is just the starting line. And this isn't some abstract case study. We're talking about a real person here, a 27-year-old corporate lawyer. So he's young, he's in one of those super demanding, high-paying fields, and he's decided to do it all right in the heart of New York City. And that context, well, it's everything. Which brings us to the real question, the whole reason we're here. After you subtract all the realities of life, the taxes, the crazy high rent, the cost of just being in New York, what does that huge salary really boil down to? Let's find out. All right, our journey begins with something I call the Great Shrinking. This is the part where that big, beautiful annual salary comes face to face with the harsh reality of deductions and, of course, taxes. A whole lot of taxes. And wow, look at how fast that top number gets carved up. So on a monthly basis, his pre-tax income is about 19 grand. But before he even gets a chance to touch it, thousands are getting sliced off for his 401k and health savings. And then, bam! The triple whammy of living in NYC. You've got federal, state, and city taxes. Okay, let's look at the nitty-gritty. After about $2,100 goes to pre-tax deductions for retirement and health, his taxable income is down to 17 grand. From there, the government steps in. $4,500 for federal, $1,000 for state, and another $680 just for the privilege of living in the city. And just like that, poof, over $6,000 disappears every single month. So, after the dust settles, his average take-home pay each month, and this includes his bonus, is about $12,000. Think about that. We went from a headline salary of $258K a year to a monthly reality of 12 grand. That's a huge haircut, and he hasn't even bought a cup of coffee yet. So now we know what he's actually working with. Let's see where it all goes. First up are the big rocks, the non-negotiables, what he calls his responsible spending. And in New York, that first biggest responsibility is always rent. Get ready for this number, $3,700. That's what he pays his share every single month for a 2-bedroom apartment that he splits with a buddy in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I mean, that one expense alone is more than what a lot of people in the US take home in an entire month. And this chart just puts it into stark relief, doesn't it? I mean, look at that. Nearly a third of his entire take-home pay is just gone, eaten up by housing before you can even think about anything else. It's the financial anchor of living in the city. Now, outside of rent, he is incredibly disciplined with his money. He plows another $3,500 a month into low-fee index funds. And notice the 2 big zeros here. No student loans, no credit card debt. That is a massive advantage. Oh, and check out that grocery bill, just $100. That's because his law firm provides free breakfast and lunch. I mean, that is a game-changing perk that probably saves him thousands a year. So when you add it all up, his rent, those aggressive investments, utilities, and transit, his total responsible spending hits about $7,500 a month. That leaves him with about $4,500 to cover, well, everything else. And that everything else is really where the whole New York City experience happens. This is the discretionary money, what he kind of playfully calls his irresponsible and bonus spending. This is where he actually gets to enjoy the city he works so hard in. And you gotta love this framing because it's so real. On one side, you have the must-dos, the adulting stuff like rent and investing. And on the other, you've got all the things that make living in a crazy, expensive city actually worth it. Going out with friends, concerts, and of course, amazing food. So let's break down the fun budget. Eating out is the biggest line item at $900 a month. I mean, you're in a food capital, you have to. He's also generous, spending about $400 on drinks, often buying rounds for his friends. But look where he's smart about it. He mostly buys secondhand clothes, gets a cheap haircut, and yep, he's still on his parents' Spotify plan. Hey, every little bit helps, right? So when you bundle all of his discretionary spending together, the irresponsible and bonus money, it adds up to just over $2,000 a month. That covers his entire social life, his hobbies, travel, and personal stuff. Okay, so after all that spending, what's the long-term result?
This is where the sheer power of that high income, even in a high-cost city, really starts to shine. Let's zoom out and look at his total financial picture.
First up, his 401k. He's maxing that thing out every year. And even though he's only been at his firm for a little while, he's already built up a balance of $25,000. That's his automated wealth building machine just humming along in the background. Next up is his cash savings. He keeps about 25 grand liquid just sitting there. That's his emergency fund, his peace of mind. It's the financial cushion that lets him be so aggressive with his other investments without having to worry.
And here's the big one. He has $250,000 in other investments, mostly stocks and ETFs. Now, he's quick to point out he was incredibly fortunate. His grandfather gifted him some Google stock when he was a kid, which obviously grew like crazy and gave him a massive, massive head start.
So you put it all together, the 401k, the cash, the investments, and his total net worth at just 27 years old is an incredible $300,000. That is the payoff for the high-stress job and all that disciplined saving. All right, so we follow the money all the way from that $258,000 salary down to a $300,000 net worth. But the numbers on a spreadsheet don't tell the whole story. What's the real bottom line here? What does this all actually feel like? And this quote, it says it all. Even with a salary that puts him in the top few percent of earners, even with an amazing net worth for his age, a core piece of the American dream, owning a home, feels totally out of reach in the very city where he lives and works. It is a stunning reality check on the limits of even a fantastic income in a place like New York.
And that's really the question it leaves us with, isn't it? He's building wealth at a crazy fast pace, but some of those traditional life goals feel impossibly far away. It's the classic New York City trade-off: high salary, high costs, high life. Is it worth it? That's something to think about.